As we aggressively subsidize med school, we are doing economy impact on our country, as we can produce a highly skilled workforce and they will serve the nation and its people. Second, we will improve health outcome. And lastly, we will encourage the social equity. So before I raise my case, we strongly agree that this house would subsidize med school simply because it encouraged the potential to improve health outcome.
Sudah, you kena explain your point. Elaborate lagi
That's
sekejap.
all.
Kamu kena explain point kamu lagi.
Then when you still have 4 minutes, you can use all of it. Yeah.
Saja cakap lagi tentang economic impact.
Macam ada apa?
Elaborate lagi.
So, as in economy impact, if we subsidize med schools, doctors and highly skilled doctors, because if we are looking at med schools, there's only highly support financial students that can enter them because they have the fund to do so. So if we subsidize those who are actually skilled to enter med school, that will contribute back to the countries.
Increase economy.
And then if we improve the public health, the people itself will contribute back to the economy in other aspects and not just health. So I think it will concretely improvise economy in all aspects. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Okay, wait a minute. Some technical issue. Okay. Yep. So now we will invite the leader of opposition to deliver his or her speech. Okay. With that, yes.
Okay. Can I start?
Yes, you can also open your camera.
So for my opposition team, our team rejects the opinion of that developing countries should aggressively subsidize medical schools and courses. And for our team, we agree that our team that our the subsidize should diverse to other courses such as STEM subjects and courses, and sponsor these students to maybe overseas and locals. For our arguments, first of all, it is because STEM projects can give a better life for the citizens, and it can improve and enhance the the lifestyle of the citizens in developing countries. It is because STEM subjects is the leading courses for innovation in technologies uh, and other things, and it also from that it can improve the lifestyle uh, of the of the people. For example, it can improve the water system in developing countries such as Malaysia, and also communication network. Other than that, uh, STEM is the base structure for uh, enhancing the infrastructure in building infrastructure and technology. For example, if you want to build bridges and roads, of course you need someone that have knowledge in engineering, which is under STEM courses, right? So uh, so these courses are so these kind of students are more needed for developing countries. Uh, so to lead the economical growth of the developing countries, and as what as far as what the government said, developing countries is a countries that have the people of low income cost, right? So I think it is better uh, for the subsidies to be diverse to the to the engineering, to the STEM courses, to ensure that it can improve the economical growth for the students. And lastly, uh, STEM is, I think the subsidized should diverse to students that want to take STEM courses, because STEM courses is a courses that have a diverse workforce development. Uh, as I said, STEM consists of engineering and also other technology courses. And under engineering, there is also lots of other courses. We have electrical, mechanical, electronics, and mechatronics. And all of the courses are essential for countries' growth to to make sure that our countries uh, can develop as good as the other first world countries. And for instance, projects in information technology can enhance communication and access to information, and it also can empower communities and improve the government's education and healthcare delivery. And that's all for my arguments.
You still have 3 minutes. Do you want to end your speech now?
um, I think I want to continue one more point. Okay, so another point is that STEM is very crucial because STEM uh, can fulfill the immediate needs on critical needs of the people. It is because STEM projects can give a wide range of immediate needs, such as improving food security through agricultural technology, enhancing water accessibility, and uh, also give an engineering solution which can leads to a better lifestyle for the people. That's all.
Thank you, Leader of Opposition. Now, I would like to invite Deputy Prime Minister Ahmad Isni Kabusle to deliver his speech. You can start anytime.
Okay, so
Good morning.
a very good day to IB, to everyone. I am, as a government, I would like to stand out my stance for today. As the government, I am strongly agree with my first previous speaker, which is Minister Inshira, that we are strongly agree with our motion, that is the House believe that developing countries should aggressively subsidize medical schools and courses. It is because we as the government prioritize more to the citizen health. So in reference to the first opposition arguments that is stated by Widat, we are strongly disagree. It is because nowadays the medical schools is more expensive than other work field. For instance, I would like to say that the doctors nowadays are more high demand than the technology aspect. We can see that we as the government nowadays we are trying to make an investment so that we can improve the doctor skills in people's life, so that by increasing more the doctors, it can like minimize the illness, illness or illness issue. So I would like to stand off my first, I mean my second argument keyword, which is by we are doing this house, believe that the developing countries should aggressively subsidize medical schools is by enhancing healthcare access and quality. As I mentioned before, like with insufficient medical staff, healthcare systems struggle to provide adequate service, leading to high rates of preventable diseases or poor health outcomes. So, with that being said, we are trying to increase the number of doctors or the quality of the doctors so that uh, the quality of healthcare in society will be improved. Okay, so the second of my no, like what I'm trying to say is the fact that prove my idea is studies have shown that in sub-Saharan Africa they are approximately or estimated there are less doctor, so that the illness in that country is improving days by days. So with this being said, uh, we as the government try to improve the doctor skills so that we can minimize more the illness in our country. Second of my argument keyword is to is promoting social equity. This is because in many developing countries, the high cost of medical education restricts access to those who can afford it, perpetuating inequality. For example, nowadays there are many. I would like to say many rich family. They can how, macam mana nak cakap?
Attend medical school.
Attend medical schools, but
Sim-
so this is like not fair to the poor family. It's not like poor family. It's like from family
Low
that
income.
they cannot afford the medical schools. So by the first speaker said we can make a scholarship, right?
Yes, scholarship.
For the scholarship so that it can give more financial support to the students who wants to further their studies in medical support. So that is only my topic for today. Thank you. So,
You still have 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes 30 seconds. Do you want to end it now, or you want to add something else?
I would like to add. Maybe I can add one more idea, which is by doing this idea, we can promote economic growth and stability. Uh, what I'm trying to say in here, a healthier population is inherited more productivity, contributing positive to economic growth. So, ada kita? For instance, like when the society is in good condition, they can pro- provide quality of life, or I mean like the uh in efficiency of work, so that the performance of the work in the society will become better. Okay. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Deputy Prime Minister. Now, I would like to invite Deputy of Leader of Opposition, Fawaz Adam, to deliver his speech.
Uh, Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so I'll start my speech in three, two, one. Judges, audience, please realize that the case that the government is trying to bring is only for the short term of the country, but it's not thinking about the future of the country. So, but first, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to the judges and audience. So first, I will go into my rebuttals. But for what the Deputy Prime Minister said, the argument saying is that they want equality. They want to give fairness to the for the low income family to also have a chance to pursue in medical. But what they don't realize is that you are forgetting that students, not all students from low income want to become doctors. They also want to be other things. They want to be computer science majors. They want to be engineers. They want to be mathematicians. They want to be a lot of things. They have a lot of ambitions, and you are crushing them by only focusing on medical schools. You are forgetting about other students, other young prospects that have so much for the future. And so they are trying to bring a very biased equality. They are not fully encapsulating the equality that they so-called are craving in. And so for this, my second rebuttal is from the second for the Deputy Prime Minister, saying is that Africa has less doctors. Yes, we agree with that. They need doctors. But why is that? Why do they not have doctors? It's not because they don't unable to have schools. They need the students don't want to learn in medical schools, but so they need to give incentives. No, that is not the problem. The problem in Africa is actually the economic is not stable there. The economy is not stable. They don't have the facilities and all. They don't even have the right schools in all aspects. So first and foremost, they need to focus. The country needs to focus on economic growth rather than medical growth. And second of all, they say that by having more doctors, they will have give adequate services. No, that is wrong. That is totally wrong. The reason why not right now we are not having enough services, the services of healthcare is not decreasing but has been stagnated over time, is because technology. If you can see in Malaysia, we are in the technology for our facilities in Malaysia is significantly lacking. Rather, if we want to compare from developed countries like China and for example in America. So what we bring right now as the opposition side not only so we are that's and I'll go further in that in my arguments. And so last but not least, they say that a lot of countries will have a high demand of doctors. If you realize, actually, in Malaysia specifically, there are less scholarships for medicine. Why? Because we have a surplus of doctors. We have too much doctors, and we do not know where to put them. Why? Because the facilities for these hospitals are not done.
POI,
So that is
POI.
why, yes, please.
Are you aware of the current situation that actually the number of doctors is reducing, not overpopulated?
Yes, the amount of doctors are reducing. Why? Because right now we have a surplus. We have to look right now. A lot of young doctors right now are being pushed wherever the place because they don't have right now we don't have the facilities to give them the basic rights or give them the place for them to conduct their practices, their expertise. So in our world, when we give incentives to build in the STEM projects, engineers, we will advance healthcare much faster and much better than the government side. And is why because if it's because like I said, the facilities in developed countries are lacking. Why they need the technologies? So in by progressing or giving incentives in these, we are actually furthering in innovations to better improve healthcare. Because do realize that when we are talking about STEMs, they are talking engineering and electrical. It covers a lot of subjects, a lot wide range of fields. It does not only have to be architectures are only doing big buildings. No, they are building hospitals as well. They are building a better community for the entirety. That's why we believe in our world, our quality of life for the citizens will be better, but in our world rather than in the world that government tries to bring. And the second argument that I would like to bring is that the return on investments when the government gives subsidizations to this world, to our country, in our world, it will because like I've said, the reason why Africa is not be able to have enough doctors is not because the students or they don't want to learn. It's because they don't have the right facilities and the economic. And so when we invest not only in medical, we invest in other projects, economy, business. We are further stabilizing the economy of the country, meaning that the economy of the country will gain more. There will be more projects of the in the country, and furthermore, because of that, the job opportunities in that will also be increased, making that our for the case in Africa, they are low. A lot of people are not have enough stable income. Now they will have an income for to provide for the country, and so now let's compare these worlds. We have a world that government that says they want equality, they want to give to make health to prioritize the health when actually they're only giving a short-term solution. Where in our world, although that the short term may not be as good as the world that the government brings, but the future of the country will be and will forever be secured. And with that, I end my speech. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Deputy Leader of Opposition. Now, I would like to invite the Government Whip, Leshrina, to deliver her speech. You can start anytime.
Good morning, everyone. As the third speaker of the government team, first I would like to make a few rebuttal. Now, first I would like to make a comparison of world, then go into my rebuttal. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the opposition today is trying to prove equality in all type of field. They believe that equality is where everyone gets subsidized, every field gets subsidized. Whereas it's just like saying the rich will still get money and the poor will still get money as well. However, in our world, we believe that our equity is looking at people's need. What does the rich need now? That's what we give them. And what does the poor need? That's what we give them. That is what we believe today. So first, let's move on to rebutting. The first speaker mentioned about how they want to subsidize for STEM subjects. Now, the thing is that we are looking at which course, which field now it requires the most cost. For example, engineering. Why engineering is so popular today is because many people who have the interest and also they can afford to go to that kind of field. But then why doctors' demands today is so high and less students want to go into this field? It's because the cost of medical school is high and they cannot afford it. So when we look at this, we believe that giving subsidized to medical schools can help these students. At the same time, the cost for engineering is which is low, students can also go into that course. So we are not saying that we are not biased where we just focus on medical schools. And he himself mentioned, the third speaker mentioned about how these days there's less scholarship for medicine and there's more scholarship for engineering and so on. So if you see here now, which is lacking? Of course, the medical schools are lacking. So that's what we are trying to bring up so that it's on the same level. Okay. Now,
Joy,
let's. Yeah, sure.
can you explain to me why is there less scholarships for medicine? Thank you very
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think we have a new speaker today in our government team because why now let me ask you again, why do you think there's less medical support for medical scholarship for there's less scholarship for medicine. One, because it's so expensive, student cannot afford it, and even the government themselves, they don't want to take that big cost for the students. So therefore, developing countries, although they are facing financial issues now or they are developing, they still have to understand that it is an investment for them in the future. If you support medical school students now, they themselves will give back to the country because most scholarship, like even if they have for, like for example, JPA who have scholarship for medicine, they have already contract where they have to work back in the country. So they themselves during that phase, they are returning back what they took back to the country. So that is not trying to say that it will cost the country at all, because later it will be an investment and it will be an investment. And also, you're trying to see here that students from the low income, they have skill, they have the passion, but they have no money to go into this field. So of course, they have to put away the thought of becoming a doctor. So therefore, we as government, we want to subsidize these students, the golden students who don't have the opportunity to go into government into medical school. Okay, the second one, he said that we are talking about short term, not long term. How is this short term? We are paying for students' education, where they themselves later will contribute back to the country. So we are not trying to say that just for that phase we are going to support them. After that, where we have contract and so on, like example, the government, we can have contracts where if we give subsidized, so that student will have to work back in the country. So if they work back in the country, they will be contributing back to the country. Of course, this will be a long-term investment. When we have skilled doctors, we have skilled workforce in the medical field, they will generate income, because even people from other countries would come to our country to seek for medical condition, for seek medical advice. Like we can see countries like India, although they are still developing, their medical skills, their medical force there is very, very strong. And even people from Malaysia go out to their country. So that's what we are trying to focus for our country. Okay, next, third. Fourth thing is that return on investment. So this is a clashing point between both government and opposition. In opposition is trying to say that they will support they'll give subsidize for other field, so they will become investment in a what do you call it, in a wider scope investment of our country, whereas we focus on medical school. Now the main reason why we focus on medical school, one, as I told earlier, it is a high cost. I think if I'm not mistaken, medical school is the most expensive course, and it is also the most wanted course. But then if you look at it, the number of doctors is reducing. Why? Because they cannot afford to take medical schools. And students who are rich, who maybe don't have the passion, or just doing it for the sake of like status, they are easily entering into private institution, or even government institution who provide a private wing. They are easily getting into that because they have the money. Whereas students who really want but they cannot afford, they have to look for scholarship, and even scholarship they have to fight with many other students. So if the government provide more scholarship, more fund, locate more number of more number of scholarship on medical field, then more students can get into medical field and reach the demand that we need today. Because the number of illness is increasing, but the number of doctors is reducing. You can even see, going to hospital, how long do you have to wait for your turn, or how many days before that you have to make an booking an appointment. But if you see, if we provide enough doctors at each hospital, you don't have to wait, and emergency cases can be handled easily. And also, engineering these days is not as expensive as medical school. Where medical school can reach 300,000 for private wing. People who have money can easily get into that, and people who don't have enough will have to pick other choice. So ladies and gentlemen, in their world, in opposition world today, they are trying to provide equity to everyone without seeing what they actually need. Whereas in our world government, we will see what people need and give them based on need specifically. So that is all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Leshrina. And last but not least, I would like to invite the opposition whip, Dia, to deliver his speech. Okay?
Hello,
Yes,
can you hear me?
you're audible. You can start anytime.
Okay, good morning everyone. So I'm the third speaker for opposition. Okay, first of all, when we talk about developed countries, we need to focus on the development of our building or facilities in our world, our country. So, when we talk about developing countries, we need to the priority of the developing country is economy. So when we talk about economy, the course that we need to focus is STEM and business or yes, it's about course that most can contribute in our economic to growth. So so we need so we don't have to we need the medical school and course, not the prioritize. So if you talk about high demand, about doctor that reduce, we need we need to think more about architecture, engineering, and so on. So uh, the so when we talk about medical school, it is not the most contribute to our economy. So STEM is wide, which is we can have invest in business, that they can also contribute to community citizen also. So our citizen is also can have can be can have be salary also. So job so when we talk about the STEM, the job opportunities will also emerge. So we need to focus on more on STEM. So uh, okay, so STEM is wide, which is base structure. Uh, we need to STEM is bigger return for economics. When we can say that when we focus on the cost STEM, when okay, also you can say that scholarship. So uh, because for engineering it also costly also, not also medical. So we need to think also about scholarship for engineering, for architecture also. Okay, so when we talk about the when we talk about the uh, when we talk about the technology and also on, it will most contribute to our economic growth. So so we want when if we want to develop our countries, we need to improve this cost. Mostly, we need to focus on this cost, not the medical cost. Yeah, so uh, yes, I think
POI,
yes.
are you saying that medical cost is not as important as the engineering and the growth of our country?
Uh, yes, I'm saying that because we need to focus on the when yes, as I said earlier, developing countries is about the economy, how the economic growth. So the most cost that that can develop countries is in economic growth is right, like STEM and business. So uh, yes, as the statement said, should aggressively subsidize medical school. I think that is not uh, not not really necessary for developing countries. So lastly, we need to think from uh, other point of view. We need to think the point of view of the main focus on developing countries, uh, not uh, so that we don't need to focus on my bad. So we not I'm not saying that we don't need to focus, but we need to we need to make we need to focus on cause the main cause for that we can subsidize to the main cost for the to the most cost that contribute in economic growth in the future. So uh, I think STEM I think STEM and business is the best, the best the best course that we need to subsidize. So I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Opposition whip. Okay. As for now, we have completed the debate session. So please allow me and Yuvan to have a small discussion. We'll just call by WhatsApp anyway. Was
All
it
over the
nice?
place.
Huh?
All over the place.
All over
My
the place.
speech.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lish?
Nervous.
Nervous. Okay lah, nervous but still
Rusted skills.
trusted skills. I understand. Okay, so I think Yuvan, you can go first. Yeah.
Okay, now I think I know how Alia struggled through our debate sessions lah. First of all, I just want to give a disclaimer. I'm not a professional educator, so I'm just giving my point of view as a spectator. So how I'll go is that I think I'll go one by one from each speaker, and then at the end, I'll give something like a comparison, and I'll tell a bit about the structure. Okay, the first of all, I just want to get it out of the way. Medicine is under STEM. If you guys can Google or just try to read somewhere, medicine is actually under STEM also. Doctors are under STEM courses. So that's one thing, but I think it's fine as long as you guys debated, engaged on each other's point, it's fine. So let's start with PM, government PM. I think the definition was pretty basic. I think the definition was good enough. And the thing is how I thought, or like how we will be doing the prime minister's structure is that first you will give greetings, and then we will give definition, and then we will try to paint a case where like in our world, blah 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 blah. So like in our world, medical courses will get more scholarships or more facilities. So it will be better off than other something. And then we will only give one argument. As the first speaker or the prime minister or LO, you'll only give one argument, and you have to focus on one argument, and you can't rebuttal with anything. So your structure is basically very simple. Definition, paint the case, maybe give status quo if you want to give, and if it's a mechanism motion or like what do you call that, policy motion, then you need to give mechanism. But then this is not a policy motion, you can't give a mechanism. So you just have to state the first argument. What I got from the PM is that the first point is economic impact. Second one is improving healthcare. And the third one is increasing social equity. About equity and equality, right? This is what I heard when Alia was judging us. She said, don't use terms, like actual terms that you don't actually know the meaning of. If I'm not wrong, it's been quite some time, so I don't remember. But if I'm not wrong, you can't simply use the word equity. If I'm not wrong, you should be very specific about what is equity and what is equality. I think you can study more on that later. And that's for government's PM, and then we'll go for LO. LO kind of accepted the definition, but he accepted the definition. He did not rebuttal the definition. And then he started to talk about STEM. So what are the main points I got from LO is better lifestyle of the people, enhancing infrastructure and technology, and also economical growth. So it's the same thing for LO. You can rebuttal the definition. If you don't want the definition, you can not accept it. You can give your own. And then you should paint the case. First thing you should do as a LO is that you have to rebuttal the PM's first argument. And then you should transition into your first point. LO also can only talk about one argument. That's how the basic structure should be. But what I see is that both of the teams started to give off all your points in the first speaker, which is not the actual structure, but it's fine. Because why they say you need to follow the structure is because you have to give a lot of analysis for each argument. Like you can't just touch and go for every point. Let's say you want to give about economical growth, right? The first speaker have to speak everything about economical growth. It's not like all three speakers talking a bit about all 3 points. It's like first speaker just focuses on one point, and he should cover everything about the point. and the third speaker can maybe refer back to the first speaker. That's how the general structure should be. About the points, I think it's good. It's just that if it were up to me, as the opposition, I would focus more on, how developing countries' economy is not strong yet. So I don't think it's very sustainable to invest in medical courses, which is very expensive. They're already developing. They don't have the economic resources to continuously invest in medicine courses. So I think that's where the opposition's stance should be. But the stance that the opposition chose right now is that choosing STEM would be much better option than choosing medicine courses, which is I think it was good because both teams engaged with all the points, which is good. So I'll move on to DPM. DPM give greetings. DPMs actually give very how do you say, not cliche lah, but like very basic opening, because that's how, as far as I've seen, all the debaters start with that. We restate the motion, say that as the government, we strongly agree with the motion, blah 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 blah, and then you start with the rebuttal. And for DPM, I actually got to see a lot of structure because he started with the motion, and then he started to give rebuttal, saying that medical schools are more expensive and doctors are more important to minimize. And you had a bit of facts about how improving healthcare is more important. And the point that I got from DPM is that promoting social equity, which is to gives financial support to poor background students. And the second one is economic growth. This point I actually liked a lot because they took the sense where healthier community means better economy, meaning that people's health index directly correlates with the country's economy, which is very strong if you think about it, because you can because the opposition is saying that how they can make the economy better, but then this is one of the key factors to rebuttal their point, which is good, which is very good for DPM. But it's the same thing for DPM. The structure that I always use as a second speaker is that I'll give greetings, I will restate the motion, and then I'll start with my rebuttal. For my rebuttal, I will what I would try to do is that I'll rebuttal all the points given by opposition, but I'll try to make sure that my first argument somehow can relate to my final rebuttal. Let's say my first point over here is economic growth, right, as DPM. I will try to rebuttal on their economic point, and then I'll transition into my point. I'll say that I do not agree with the opposition saying that engineering is more important for economic growth. It is because I believe that people's health index relates with the country's economy or something like that. So there's much more flow and structure. And as the DPM, you do not need to give comparison, but if you want, you have time, you can give. And don't focus too much on rebuttal. Rebuttal should only take, I can't actually remember, but I think it should be around 2 minutes if I'm not wrong. The rest should be focused on your points and try to give more. If this is for everyone, try to give more analysis on all the points. Don't touch and then go. Just stay the facts and then just move on to the next point. That's not how it should be. You should give as much analysis as possible. And by analysis, I mean that the questions, like how, why, when, what, and all that. Okay, now I'll move on to DLO. DLO, give greetings. He started with rebuttal. That's good. He said about equality and saying that not all low-income students want to enter medicine school, and it's a biased equality. Again, don't use equality or like actual terms without the proper definition. And I like how he gave the facts about African economy is not stable, and it needs to focus on its economy first, and they can't invest in medical courses. And so there was a POI raised about how a number of doctors are reducing and facilities to educate them. About this, I think the DLO stated that there is no high demand for doctors in developing countries, which can be rebutted by the government because there are a lot of facts out there and statistics out there that says in Malaysia's developing country. So in Malaysia, there's a high demand in doctors. If the government used a statistic to rebuttal this point, that would be much more better, but they did not. So this point still stands, by the way. So one thing about debate that I actually learned the hard way is that no matter how irrelevant a point given by the opposition team, as long as you don't rebuttal it, the point still stands. Like Richard once gave something about Twin Tower crashing, plane crashing Twin Tower or something, and the thing is we did not rebuttal him, so the point still stands because we never talked about it, or we never disagreed with him. We did not say why we did not agree with him. And the point that I got from DLO is building a better community, and also stabilizing the economy, meaning we'll have better job security and stable income. Okay, the point is good. And there was a comparison given by DLO saying that in government's world, it's a short-term solution, whereas they focus more on future of the community the future of the community will become more secure. Like I said, DLO can give comparison, but it depends on the time. And I feel like the DLO should focus more on his points rather than giving rebuttal. Rebuttal is to win over their points, but you have to defend your point. You have to give enough facts and analysis about your own point. For the second point, which is stabilizing the economy, I think, if I'm not wrong, DLO only talked about it for like 20 seconds. But in actual debate, there should be like, you should allocate more time on your own points. I think that's all for DLO. I think I'll move on to government. Do we have more time, Richard, or should I like speed through this?
We still have, okay, never mind. We still have 5 minutes. You can speak. You can
Okay.
go through.
I'll speed through the government whip and opposition whip. For government whip, that's very good. The point is very good. There was a lot of comparison. There was a lot of painting how two worlds are. And I think I'll focus on the important points. Like the point where you said medical schools are more expensive and economy is more affordable, which is good. But then I feel like you should have given more examples or facts that you can find. And I like how you rebutted with the point saying that you're not biased, but just focused on medicine school. And there was when the POI raised for why is there less scholarship for medicine, I did not get the answer properly. I'm sorry, I did not catch that. But I like how you said about investment, how GPA contract will make sure that the students will come back to Malaysia and then they will, help develop Malaysia as well. I think this is a good point, but it should have come before the VIP. So another thing about Asian parliamentary is that VIP speaker is just to strengthen the points. If you give main points or main rebuttals in VIP speech, then it's like they won't take in consideration. And then you talked about how clashing point is economy, and that's good. You said about how number of doctors are decreasing, high demanded cost, and also the cost is very costly. Okay, that's good. I think government wave speech is all right, but then it should be fine. It's just that the point should have came much more earlier. And last but not least, opposition whip. He restated the definition. Okay, you can do that. But I did not see much of comparison from both worlds. That's what BIP should be focusing on. I'm not a third speaker. I've never been a third speaker, so I cannot say much for the speaker. I think Richard will cover on that. And what I kind of dislike about opposition is that they weren't firm with their stance. If you're gonna say that you're focusing on STEM, you should focus on STEM entirely, because the opposition whip lastly stated that he wanted to focus on business as well, which is like, if you want to say that you want to focus everything other than medicine school, you should be more clear on that early on. But other than that, everything was fine. I think as the first debate, to be honest, it was so much better than mine. So good job, guys. I think Richard will take over.
Humor is too humble. Okay, due to time constraint, I'll just go through. So from the structure, okay, you've already briefed like how a first speaker should set up the case. Only one argument should be present in the first speaker's speech, and the second speaker should be focusing first on rebuttals. Second is on your arguments. And for the third speaker, yes, you need to do comparison, you need to do weighting, and if you are the third speaker, you have some points, you can pass it to your second speaker so that the points can be uh more earlier. So the panels can take credit of it. Okay. So I think the first thing is from the side of subsidy. Actually, the debate suddenly turns from subsidy to scholarship. From the middle to the end, it becomes scholarship. But actually, subsidy, you can have more approach with subsidy. It's not solely on scholarship. It's not solely focusing on people, but facilities. But never mind, because the government whip also says that, oh, we can use this money to improve our facilities. It also serves as a rebuttal to the DRO. So yep. The second thing is actually when you guys debate, when you guys found that you guys are lost, actually you guys should stick to the outcome. Like for the DPM, right? Okay, you say that Africa, yeah, this one this impressed me. Okay, Africa, the doctors are becoming less and the illness is increasing. And what is the outcome of you saying out these statistics? Because at the end, I don't hear any analysis or final outcome. After you saying this point, actually you should say that because of this illness increasing, it aligns with our argument. And in fact, we should subsidize medical schools and courses. So, in the point, doctors can be more and the illness could be reduced. And it is also aligned with our first or second argument to improve healthcare and so on. Okay, so you should know that what is your objective of saying this point, of saying this argument. What is your stance? What are you finally want to conclude in your speech or in your sentence? So I think this is some skills that need to be enhanced later. Okay, later we'll have more practice, so never mind. And from the side of the okay, and from the side of the clash points, that from my point of view lah, okay, because sometimes panels could be also panels is also a factor to your win or lose. Sometimes panel could have their own assumptions. Sometimes panels could choose what they want to listen, what they don't want to listen. So this thing is unavoidable, but still that's why we always emphasize the structure, because the structure lets you to stick to your speech. Let you to stick to the point that you're trying to emphasize, so that the panel can at least in some extent they can focus on what you are saying. Or else if you're not structured, you're just being wandering all over the corner, and at last the panel can catch anything, and the panel is forced to think by himself like, oh, what is this guy or girl trying to say, and they will make their own assumption, which is actually quite dangerous, because their assumption doesn't necessarily means that what you are trying to present to the case. So yes, be structured, but never mind. This is the first debate, so after all, later on you guys can practice on it. Okay, from the size of clash points, actually the clash points that you guys should have mentioned, the reason why you guys should mention the clash points shows that how attentively you pay attention to the whole debate and how you present and compare cases. But basically this is the role for the third speaker lah. And what I can conclude the clash points is firstly from the accessibility, because from the government side they mentioned that rich people, of course, rich people, they have more money, but actually we subsidize these medical schools is to help for the poor people, so we have more accessibility. And what is the final outcome? The final outcome to have is to have more doctor and to improve the healthcare system of our country. Then from the side of opposition, actually what can I say from the opposition side is the lack of structure. This is also being pointed out by Yuvan. When you have this problem, actually it's quite hard for me to focus as well, to catch, oh, are you trying to engage with the government side or anything. So, yep, can work on it next time. And the second clash point is about the contribution. Actually, I made my own assumption. Okay, from the status quo for the government side, maybe the status quo you guys should say is the current number of doctors. It's decreasing. That's why we need to subsidize it to increase back the number of doctors. But and from the status quo from the opposition side, as what Yuvan said, it should be more from the side of sustainability, from the economic side, because developing countries is Malaysia. Malaysia is a developing country. You can just use Malaysia as an example. The economy of Malaysia is actually not as good as we thought. So investing and subsidize such medical schools will just bring more harm than good, and will cause to a downturn in the economy, and at last everything will go wrong. So I think not much I would say, but I think overall this is a very good debate because you guys tried to engage with each other, use the speech given by all of us, and there's a lot more time. There's plenty of time for you guys to improve, and we will be with you together. Okay? So, you want any last words? No. Okay. So I think
Just good luck, man. Good luck, everyone.
okay. Good luck. Okay.
Luck.
So good luck, everyone. As here I'll end this session. Bye bye.
Do they have any comments? Like, do you wanna say something?
Oh, Q&A. Do we have time? 4 minutes lah. Okay lah.
Anyone?
I want to ask if for like the first speaker, the leader of opposition, for opposition lah, so leader of opposition, do they have to set the case?
Yeah, both teams should set their case, paint their picture, paint their world, like why their world is better, like how. Yeah, they should. Both teams.
They should be. They should be
go on.
biased, and by setting up the case, it somehow sets the basics of how the second speaker and whip will support your case. So it's actually quite important. You have your stance, and the deputy and the whip can support to the stance and everything.
Yeah, stance. I think one of the first things you should, like, all of you should focus on making is that stance. No matter your government opposition, you should have like a very firm stance that you should not change around throughout the debate. And I think the first speaker's responsibility is to say what your stance is. And some debates won't have specific theme or like specific, what do you call that? It will be like too open. So let's say the government already says that it's specifically for Malaysia, and then if the opposition doesn't say anything about it, or they did not open the case saying that, oh, it's not just Malaysia, it's about all the Southeast Asia countries, then it's going to be about Malaysia lah. So I think, they should open the case. That makes sense.
Okay, thank you.
Any more? I think, yep. If no, we can end here because we have another session to go. So good luck, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Did you raise your hand?
Lish?
No, I want to put reaction, but
Okay.
sorry.
Okay, so thank you. So you guys can move on. We have rest, move on to the next meeting.